is something that I still think shapes what I see as the integration agenda for Britain. There were a group of people in my hometown in Dewsbury, predominantly white, who felt that even though I was a local solicitor and I had a practice on the high street and I wrote for the local paper and I was a local Rotarian, they still felt they could not vote for me because I was Asian. And I remember being very bluntly told on the doorstep, I cannot vote for a Paki. And then I remember canvassing in a predominantly Muslim community where it was a community that I had grown up with, I had known all my life. And they said to me that we do not feel that we can vote for a Muslim woman because we do not feel Muslim women should be in positions of leadership. And I always say that at the last election I was too brown for half the community, too female for the other half, and I certainly wasn't going to be winning. But I think it taught me that really Britain needs a new direction in terms of its race relations, in terms of its community relations, and it also needs a very clear strategy on integration. और अम्मी जान अभी तक भी परेशान होती हैं कि मैं सियासत में क्यों हूँ, क्योंकि वो ये कहते हैं कि देखो आप वकील हैं, आपका अच्छा खासा जॉब है, अच्छा घर है, अच्छी गाड़ी है, जो चीजें हम लोग अपनी दुनिया के लिए बनाते हैं वो सब आपके पास है, तो आपको क्या जरूरत है सियासत में इन्वॉल्व होने की। बल्कि वो कहते हैं कि तेरी फिलोसफी ये है, आप बैल मुझे मार, कि जो भी मसला होता है उसमें जाके तो पहले खुद इन्वॉल्व होती हो। लेकिन मैं ऑनेस्टली आपको कहती हूँ, यहाँ पे मेरे बुजुर्ग हैं, मेरे भाई हैं, मेरी बहनें हैं, कि हमारी कम्युनिटी की अब सियासत एक जरूरत बन चुकी है। 1976 में मेरी अम्मी जान ने ड्राइविंग सीखी थी और उस वक्त बहुत से लोगों ने कम्युनिटी में ये कहा था कि आप अपनी बीवी को क्यों ड्राइविंग सिखा रहे हैं, ये कौन सा मसला है, ये बेहयाई है, बल्कि हम अपनी औरतों को ड्राइविंग सिखा रहे हैं। और उस वक्त 1976 में जो अब्बू जान ने अम्मी को सिखाया था वो आज हर घर घर में औरत सीखती है, क्योंकि वो हमारी जरूरत है। और जब 22 साल पहले बाजी जो मेरी बड़ी बहन है वो जब वो यूनिवर्सिटी गई थी पढ़ने के लिए, अम्मी जान ने चाहा था कि वो टीचर बने, शी इज अ टीचर, तो उस वक्त भी लोगों ने ये कहा था कि देखो आप बच्चियों को क्यों पढ़ा रहे हैं, बच्चियों को यूनिवर्सिटी क्यों भेज रहे हैं, ये क्या करेंगी। तो उस वक्त भी अब्बू जान ने ये कहा था कि देखो ये हमारी एक जरूरत है। और मैं खुशी से कहती हूँ कि आज घर घर में हमारे बेटे और हमारी बेटियां जो हैं खुसूसी तौर पे यूनिवर्सिटी जा रही हैं और बहुत अच्छे करियर्स पे वो अचीव कर रही हैं। और आज के जमाने में जब हम देखते हैं कि ब्रिटानिया में कौन से हालात हैं, हमारे कम्युनिटी के साथ क्या क्या कहा जाता है, क्या चैलेंजेस हैं, यहाँ तक कि दूसरे मजहब और दूसरे रंग के लोगों के बारे में वो कुछ नहीं कह सकते जो आजकल इस्लाम के बारे में कह सकते हैं। जो जगह जगह पे अगर ब्रिटिश नेशनल पार्टी की अगर आप लीफलेट्स देखें तो वो खुसूसी तौर पे इस्लाम और मुसलमानों को टारगेट कर रहे हैं, तो आपको ये महसूस होता है कि हमारे पास 3 चॉइसेस हैं। वी हैव 3 चॉइसेस। या एक चॉइस है, फर्स्ट चॉइस is that actually we decide that Britain is no longer at home, and we decide that we're going to go back to maybe Pakistan. Or, as I keep hearing from my friends, I'm buying a place in Dubai, I'm buying a place in Morocco. I think there must be a better place to live. I don't agree with that, because I have lived and worked in other parts of the world, including Pakistan, the place where many of our ancestors originated from. And I tell you, despite the challenges that British Asians or British Muslims face in Britain, there is nowhere in the world where I can practice my faith and live my life the way I live in Britain than anywhere else in the world. The second choice that we have is that we sit back and we do nothing. And actually that's the call of the extremist groups. The groups like Hizb ut-Tahrir and Al-Muhajirun, what will they say? They will say, don't get involved in voting, don't vote, this is the elections of the kuffar, this is the parliament of the kuffar, and we shouldn't be involved. Well, if they are unhappy with the way that the country is now, and they honestly are saying they want change, and then they're saying that the only way to effect change in this country, which is the democratic process, is a process that you should disengage from, that clearly shows that those people have no good intentions, they do not want change, they simply want to cause trouble and divide our society. में गई थी और उन्होंने ये सोचा कि इस्लाम के नाम में वो मुझ पे अंडे फेंकते थे तो वो अच्छा काम है। I think उनको जब पूरी मुसलमान कम्युनिटी में ना अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह from all over the country, from the Luton Council of Mosques to mosques up and down this country, to members of our community, to young students, to women who all stood out and said they do not represent us, they do not represent Islam, they are not doing this in the name of Islam, and they are bringing the great religion of Islam into disrepute, and we reject them. That we have is this. We accept accept that Britain is our home. We accept that there are challenges, but we accept that the way to deal with those challenges is through engaging in the political process. It's why I got involved. It's why many, many people, young people, are now engaging in the political process. And of course, first of all, I would always say to you, engage. Ab siyasat mein hissa lein. Lekin uske baad I will also say to you is engage with the Conservative Party. Now why do I say that? I would clearly say that because I'm a member of the Conservative Party, but what are the values that make me a Conservative? First of all, I fundamentally believe that government should be small and communities should be big. I fundamentally trust communities, I trust families, and I trust individuals. The second issue is that I think the Labour Party have always said that they are the party of ethnic minorities, that they somehow represent the British Asian community or the British black community or the British Muslim community. And let me tell you why they do not. Because Labour की ख्यालात ये है कि जो Muslim community है वो एक specific interest group है. They're a separate interest group. They're a specific group which we can allow to occasionally, we'll go outside the mosque, shake a few hands, we'll give them a little community centre, we'll give them a little bit of funding here, the odd MBE, the odd OBE, and then everything will be fine. Well, I say that is wrong. Because the British Muslim and the British Asian community are no longer a specific interest group. They are not on the fringes of politics. They should not be given as Labour give them the crumbs off the table. They are entitled to a stake in the cake. And a Conservative government will make sure that that is exactly how you are incorporated and integrated into the political. ज़्यादा डैमेज जो है जो ब्रिटिश मुसलमान कम्युनिटी को लेबर ने किया है, इसी अगर आप देखा जाए वो कहते हैं कि जो कंजर्वेटिव पार्टी है वो मुसलमानों के खिलाफ है, लेकिन आई टेल यू दिस कि पिछले 13 सालों में जितना मुसलमानों के खिलाफ यहाँ पे मुश्किलात पैदा हुए हैं वो कभी पहले कभी भी किसी गवर्नमेंट के नीचे नहीं पैदा हुए। और अगर आप देखा जाए कि उनकी जो इंगेजमेंट प्रोसेस है, उन्होंने एक फंड शुरू किया, आप लोगों ने सुना होगा, उसका फंड का नाम है प्रिवेंटिंग वायलेंट एक्सट्रीमिज्म। What a name of a fund। यानी कि हम मुसलमानों के साथ उस तरह इंगेज करेंगे क्योंकि हमें ये सोच है कि शायद उनमें ज्यादा लोग जो हैं वो एक्सट्रीमिस्ट हैं। उस फंड ने हमारी कम्युनिटी को इतना स्टिग्मेटाइज किया और इतना डिवाइड किया है, यहाँ तक कि हम मुसलमान डिफरेंट कम्युनिटीज जाके गवर्नमेंट को कहते हैं कि देखो हम जो है हम देवबंदी हैं, हम अच्छे मुसलमान हैं, उनको पैसे नहीं देना। बरेली उठ के कहते हैं हम अच्छे मुसलमान हैं, देवबंदियों को नहीं देना। देवबंदी और बरेली मिलकर कहते हैं शिया को देना ही नहीं है क्योंकि वो तो है ही काफिर। हम लोगों को इतना डिवाइड इस फंड ने कर दिया है कि मैं ये कहती हूँ कि देखो जब अल्टीमेटली यहाँ पे मसला बनेगा, और यू कैन सी दैट अगर ईडीएल के मार्चर्स को देखो तो वो किसी और के खिलाफ नहीं मार्च कर रहे, वो मुसलमानों के खिलाफ मार्च कर रहे हैं। कोई भी जब आगे आपको मारेगा ईडीएल की तरफ से तो वो ये नहीं पहले पूछेगा कि आप देवबंदी हैं, बरेलवी हैं या शिया हैं, उसके बाद सोच के मारूंगा। It's about a man who had an elephant. Had a small baby elephant, and his friend came to see him, and the guy with the elephant was tying up this elephant with a huge rope. And his friend said to him, "That's only a tiny elephant, it's a pretty big rope. You know, why do you need such a big rope?" And he says, "He's a strong elephant, and he will probably run away. I need to tie him to keep him." And then many years later, the same friend went back to see this guy, and the elephant was now huge, and it was exactly the same rope that was being used to tie this elephant to where he was tying him. And he said to him, "Well, the elephant's grown, but you haven't changed the rope." And he said, "Well, why not?" And he said, "Well, you know what? This elephant has got so used to being tied up and has got so used to sitting down that it doesn't know its strength anymore." I would say to you as a community, the Labour Party have tied you up for too long. You've sat for too long. It doesn't know your strength. And I would say to you on May the 6th, stand up, break that rope, show your strength, and come stand at the side of us.
Thank you, Sister Baroness Sayeeda Warsi, for that really very inspiring talk. Just a couple of points I'd like to pick out from the talk. The first one is that